After his address, Sacramento County Superior Court Judge Michael Bowman told DeAngelo he will die in prison. He had pleaded guilty to 13 murders and 13 rape-related charges. He was sentenced to 11 consecutive life sentences. Now, before the sentencing, DeAngelo made his statement. Here's how it unfolded less than 2 hours ago live on KCRA 3.
Mr. DeAngelo would like to make a brief statement.
DeAngelo. Hold your chair back. Just
I've listened to all your statements, each one of them. And I'm truly sorry to everyone I've heard. Thank you, Your Honor.
Surprising moment there. DeAngelo's defense attorney read statements from his family, including one from his niece. She wrote she's trying to make sense of the crimes.
I know my uncle, who I love and always love. There's so much more I could say about what a wonderful uncle, dad, son, brother, and great uncle to my kids he was. My heart is crushed, and I will never be the same trusting person. I no longer have trust for anyone. It's really hard to end this letter, but I guess all I can say is I'm very sorry to the victims. I can't imagine what they went through. I love my Uncle Joe as I knew him, and that will never change because I can't wrap my head around the fact that someone so caring and loving could have done those things.
And the judge himself made a statement before reading the sentencing.
I generally don't make comments at sentencing, but I am going to make an exception. Having approved of this plea, I will now move on to the imposition of sentence. Mr. DeAngelo, I've listened for the last 3 days from the people you've terrorized and their friends and their family. Their impact statement will always be with me. I was moved by their courage, their grace, their strength, all qualities you clearly lack. I know whatever words I say today will pale in comparison to the words the survivors have spoken. They need to be said. The fundamental principle of law that justice delayed is justice denied is no truer than in this case. But for the dogged persistence and perseverance of law enforcement, their survivors, their families, and citizen detectives, this case may have remained unsolved.
Well, after the sentencing, Sacramento District Attorney Anne Marie Schubert released 3 videos. They were shot from inside DeAngelo's jail cell. And she says the videos prove DeAngelo is not the feeble old man that appeared before the cameras inside the courtroom.
So after the last 2 years of court proceedings, many people have asked and wondered, really, who is Joseph DeAngelo? Is he a feeble, old 74-year-old man? Is he psychologically impaired? Is he physically impaired? Is he even competent to stand trial or to enter those guilty pleas we saw on June 29th when he rolled in a wheelchair and feigned feebleness? The answer to those questions that so many people have wondered for the last 2 years lies within the definition of a sociopath. A sociopath, in our world, we understand, is a person who has no respect for the rights of other human beings, no respect for the law, no compassion, no empathy, no remorse. He is a person who lacks a conscience or a soul. And under the definition of a sociopath, he is a person who lies, deceives, and manipulates others for no other reason than personal gain. Over the last 2 years, since the first day he was wheeled into a courtroom for his arraignment in a wheelchair, in April of 2018 to the day of his plea on June 29th, to this entire week, sitting stone-faced in front of the world, each of us has witnessed a sociopath in action. The truth of who Joseph DeAngelo is lies not just in what happened in the courthouse, but what has happened in his jail cell. One only needs to look back a few months from today to see the real Joseph DeAngelo. We, as part of this team, felt that it was critically important to show the victims, the public, and perhaps the world, this sociopath in action. And I again would remind you of how things unfolded on June 29th when he pled. This is only a snippet of a CD anybody wishes to have at the end of these proceedings of his actions within his jail cell. This is June 1st, just a couple weeks before he pled. He's not a feeble old man, as he portrayed himself to be on June 29th. The next video I'm going to show you is from June 17th, just 12 days before. And before I play this, I ask you to watch it closely. Watch it for what he does, watch his flexibility, watch his dexterity, watch his mental drive. Think back on the crimes that he committed. Think back about what he did to escape. Think back what he did to shadow the light. Mr. Totten reminded us a few minutes ago of how Mr. DeAngelo attempted to hide the light so he could remain in darkness during the commission of his crimes. And when we watched this, we were struck by what happened 45 years later. And we hearkened back to those crimes of what he did to hide the light and to remain in the darkness. These are photographs from some of the crime scenes where he put blankets over televisions or lights. And so when you look back in time 4 decades and you now stand in the presence of 2020, you can see that Joseph DeAngelo is no different today than he was 45 years ago. And lastly, just a couple weeks ago, as you see on the top there, again, he's moved to a new cell, I believe, and he's got light once again covered with papers. And this last one is to simply demonstrate to you his mental acuity, his dexterity, his ability to deceive or attempt to deceive the entire world into believing he is a feeble old man. These are just snippets into the window of the mind of a sociopath. He is, quite simply, the definition of one. He has and always will be a sociopath in action. Today, the world knows that.